Coming up on Talk is Cheap, we look at the B of Joy banking system. Now, this is initiated by Ronald Bernard. He's come out of the Illuminati, and he's cracking down. Up next on Talk is Cheap. Happy holidays, ladies and gentlemen. It's Christmas next week. This is our Christmas episode. I try to have a little bit of joy. I mean, I'm kind of dressed sharp, but I kind of love it.
Correct.
But to my left over here is none other than Pete Halbleib. Pete, what's up?
Oh, not much. Dano, how you doing, sir?
Good. You're not in the Christmas spirit either?
Well, I kind of am, but I don't own any Christmas clothes or festive stuff, so I'm hoping at least one of us thought to really, embrace it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but no, I am spirited. I guess I'm wearing some red and white here. That's kind of Christmassy.
Out of all your uniforms, that's one of my favorites.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's it's kind of like the mechanic's shirt.
Mechanic / drummer shirt.
Yeah, right. Yep. And I'm not a very good mechanic or drummer, so that's
wow,
good to know.
That's a good combination.
Yeah, but they'll sell me the shirt. Hey, that reminds me of a quick joke here. What do you do when your drummer is drowning? You throw him his bass drum. How do you get a drummer off your front porch? You pay him for the pizza. So anyway,
okay, these are a little weird.
What do you call a drummer without a girlfriend? Homeless. So sorry.
Here's a better one. Why does the bass player stay on the porch?
I don't know.
Because he doesn't know when to come in.
Oh, nice. That's a good one. That is a good one.
I heard that one from
and for those that don't know, Dan's a drummer, so
I heard that one from the recording studio. And to my right over here, Mr. Boyd Hanson in the house. Dressed up sharp there, I see. Got the light on sweater.
Yeah, I got to do it once a year. I got to try and be in the festive spirit, just once a year for the kids.
You went way out.
Yep.
So.
For those that can't see online, his shirt says, "I got here on a unicorn." So yeah, there you go.
There.
Yep.
Yeah. And then these, so how is this thing powered? Is this like AA batteries or these watch batteries? Or
Well,
what?
if I pulled my shirt up and showed you, you'd see my hairy belly button, so I can't do that.
Yeah, no. It's free energy, Dan. It's running
Free
free
energy,
energy.
yes.
Yeah.
Free energy. Okay, we got a call from Rafael in Finland. Let's listen in.
Hello, Talk is Cheap. This is Rafael Padilha and Cine Padilha. We are from Helsinki, Finland. I am calling you. We have been watching you guys for a long time, and I would like to suggest a topic for your research. And that would be Ronald Bernard. The Dutch banker has come out a little while ago with some information from the inside the top of the pyramid. He has been a Dutch banker a long time in the highest realms of this weird universe. And he came out with some testimonies and an idea of a new banking system that is very much aligned with an idea of leaving this old system behind. So I think that's worth checking it out. There is plenty of information on the internet. Keep up the good work. Thank you, guys. Hugs.
Okay, thank you for your call.
Thanks, Rafael.
Well, that was cool.
Finland.
And, Finland. Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for watching, and excellent topic suggestion. Thanks for the compliments too. That was pretty cool. Always love to hear from folks. And I just got to say that I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that English was not his second language, but you nailed it. Good job, and way better than any second language I speak. So my hat's off to anybody who can do that. That's a sign of genius. So good job.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I will be talking about his B of Joy. It's called B of Joy banking system. Interesting. So a new banking system.
And Ronald Bernard, I think he said was the guy's name, right?
Yeah. So I got him up on screen here. This guy just came out. He did some videos on YouTube, and you can watch them. Crazy stuff here. That was your kid.
Yeah, that was my cue. Crazy stuff, right?
So So to break this down real quick, so Be of Joy banking system, it's an initiative of the United People's Foundation, UPF, a nonprofit foundation that develops innovative products and services. These products are exclusively of services to society. So it's trying to be a more communal, let's do stuff together, instead of the banking systems where they're always myself.
Sounds like socialism.
There you go. Okay, so Ronald Bernard, his childhood, at the age between 9 and 12, he was put in a place where they look after children, supposedly, and, you know, like a foster home, if you will. But basically, this is some crazy stuff. You hear about this stuff all the time. He was basically forced into these sexual rituals. Like, the people were wearing masks. They had power. What a way to talk about stuff on Christmas.
I know, right? Crazy stuff, right?
But you hear about this stuff in Illuminati, and they have all this stuff going on.
Yeah, that's not the first time that this weird sex ritual stuff with kids has been brought up, you know, on this show and just generally.
Absolutely. So he said there was powerful people there, and he did, after a while, get back into the Illuminati insider system. He said there's 8,500 members roughly. And, you know, they're high up in the banking systems and all that. There's a big control.
Mm-hmm.
But they're always checking for your weakest point. So they want to be able to know what bolts they can turn, screws, to make you, like, blackmail you to do things. Oh, sure.
Yeah, they get dirt on you, and then it's, you know, then you're theirs.
So deep inside these circles, the reason people would ask, okay, he came out, talked about this stuff, so why isn't he getting in trouble? Why, you know, because he's telling about this stuff.
Sure.
Why is he still alive? Like, if you don't disclose their names, the company, the organization, you're fine to do it, because that's part of the oath you swear to.
So you can talk about it, just don't mention any specifics.
Yeah, because then they're not pinpointed.
Right.
So he served clients and finances. He went to places. When he's in now he's kind of on the other side of the fence. First he was the kid at this thing, and now he's on the other side of it. Now he's going to these things.
He's more of a leader or a contributor.
Well, at first he started out, he was just going to these places. Like, one place is called the Church of Satan, and then the Holy Mask, and there was naked women and liquor. He's like, all right, they're just having fun, whatever.
I get down with that.
But the big thing here, and he does get teary-eyed in his video, he was invited to participate in the sacrifices of children.
Oh,
and this is like, oh hell
no!
This is the deep stuff, and this is why.
And again, it's not a new story when you hear about these people coming forward with this stuff.
It sounds more like a cult to me.
Well, it is. It doesn't sound like a cult. It is. Oh, you got it. Yeah, and you're lost for words.
I got a cure for it.
Yeah, in about a 40 caliber
yes, sir. Yes,
range
sir.
or so. I do too, man. Yep.
God, who was the guy that had the island with the Clintons? God,
Epstein.
He had that underground place. It was a pool, and they had where they hung the children up and stuff. It's like, Jesus.
Yeah.
They're sick people.
Well, you look at the Catholic Church, and they do all sorts of crazy stuff too, supposedly. And there's Pizzagate, right?
So then he comes out and says, okay, banking is basically to control people, start wars. He says the cryptocurrency was planned, versions 1 and 2, but now the 3rd and 4th generations are being used in a more positive way.
Well, Bitcoin's tanking these days, and
it's terrible.
And they're saying that it's just going to just wither away to nothing.
Oh, man.
Boy, if you had it back when it was up around, what, $10,000 a coin or whatever it was. And
yeah.
Would have been a good time, a good way to get out of it.
So one thing I want to mention here too, because I always talked about this New Earth thing and stuff. Mm-hmm. He had an out-of-body experience. He said he's seen a new world. You could look through the grass. The colors were so bright, and you could feel the colors.
So neat.
Is that some transition that we're going into, or was that part of the afterlife?
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was worth mentioning.
Yeah, that is neat. And there's been people that supposedly can, smell colors, smell differently, and numbers appear as different colors and stuff. So that's kind of interesting too.
So to be a full reserve bank, now we're getting into the Be of Joy banking system that Ronald's constructing here. The goal is to become a full reserve bank. interest-free and a community bank. So full reserve means that we only lend out what we have already received. Current banks only offer 10% of their book value in the form of real money.
Exactly.
And that's where we get the issue of not inflation. And then it gets just tanks from there.
Yep. Yeah, imagine having $10, but your value's at $100. Where's that magical $90 coming from?
I'll mention this. You did a good breakdown on that show you did with the money system.
Yeah.
That showed it perfectly how crazy this system is.
And how you can create money out of nothing. That's the old alchemy, right? Through interest, you've just created money from nothing.
The currency he's proposing is the URA, urine ebbing. Get the pronunciation on this, folks, because that's a little tough.
Arena Abeid.
Arena Abeid, that's Dutch. And in Dutch, it means hours of labor.
Oh.
So the inflation-proof URA. The URA is an inflation-proof currency. The currency value is based on hours of labor. Hours of labor are, in fact, inflation-proof. Hours and labor at this moment in time have the same value as hours and labor in 10 years. This will make the URA more reliable than gold, because gold is a commodity which is subject to speculation, which affects the current price of gold. All investments in the URA are brought into the real economy and provide financial, ecological, emotional, and social returns fees.
Financial, ecological, emotional, and social fees, returns on the capital.
So the funds are invested in raw materials and commodities, fair entrepreneurship, biological food, natural energy resources, real estate, and clean water and people. These investments are beneficial to mankind, which will always need them. Pretty
well, that
good.
sounds a lot like what was they had the guy on the show that was starting up that
Michael Tellinger.
Yeah, that sounds a lot like what he was describing too, right? That people would contribute X amount of hours to the community. Everybody's time is worth the same, and then you create goods, services, sell it to the outside, use that money to reinvest.
Yeah, his was more trying to get a community together to do this.
Yeah, because he was actually trying to.
Yeah. But if you can do the currency, I think it's got to start with the currency now that I kind of right into this stuff a little bit.
Well, the thing is, I mean, can you draw a line between labor and currency? Because to this, the labor is the currency, right? So why would you want to? We can transfer that labor into paper bills as much as we want, right? Or I'm sure he's probably thinking more electronic credit type system and stuff. So currency is just a placeholder for the value of something at some time or some place. And if your labor is what's valued, is a currency necessary? You'd still have to keep track of the labor that you put in, right? So you gotta.
Yeah, but with that, wouldn't it be your labor? If you don't work, you don't get paid, or you're not contributing. So would that also offset the welfare system type? I mean, if you're not going to put in the labor hours,
what the hell are you going to be eating?
Is that going to have a result on the entire group? One person gets sick and they can't do their.
Yeah, there's always going to be exceptions, right? Yeah, you're out there. You're let's say your labor contribution is. You're a logger. You're making boards for buildings and stuff. Mm-hmm. Tree goes the wrong way. Now you break your back. You can't work anymore. And so then suddenly that's where these social systems get put in place. Or do you say, okay, well, Boyd, you're still able-bodied enough. You're going to be an accountant now, and you're going to be doing numbers instead, and you're no longer a logger. Or you go a little further, and now we're talking about things that some folks, some less than desirable leaders in Germany try to do, and you got too far gone. Now you're a drain and off to the alleged ovens in Auschwitz,
Or there's free food.
Yeah, or there's free food. So anyway, Dan, I'm sorry. We're going down a rabbit. Dan. We're going down a rabbit hole here.
Let's go into this a little bit, because so you got a bank. People are going to invest in your bank, store their money in there. So what does the bank do? So he wants to offer. Let's invest in some actual resources here. So that some things where there would be like as clean energy, healthy food, clean drinking water, affordable housing. I wanted to play a video that he's got on his website that was linked here. This is the Japanese car that runs on water.
Tired of pumping expensive gasoline into your car? Well, one Japanese company reveals an eco-friendly car that runs on water. Using the company's generating system, water is converted into electrical power. Let's take a look at this amazing development.
All you need is a liter of water, any kind of
No
water to be
onions.
exact, whether it's river, rain, seawater, or even Japanese tea. Genepax unveiled a car that runs on water in the western Japanese city of Osaka. They say
do I get
it's an
one?
electric-powered car that runs solely on hydrogen dioxide.
The main characteristic of this car is that no external input is needed. The car will continue to run as long as you have a bottle of water inside for you to add from time to time.
According to Japanese broadcaster TV Tokyo, once the water is poured into a water tank at the back of the car, the newly invented energy generator takes out the hydrogen from the water, releases electrons, and finally generates electric power.
Oh, yeah.
So you're nodding your head there, Boyd. You've dabbled in this a little bit?
Am I going to get killed?
Well,
I have not run a car yet, but I have run a small engine off water.
really?
Wow.
And maybe in the future, God willing, maybe I'll have something out here for you to see, and we'll actually play with it a little bit.
That'd be all right. That'd be all right.
So it is feasible. It does work, folks.
That's the hydrogen it's running off.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh, yeah. That
that's-
sounds good.
The other thing with this was people were saying that this is BS. You know, that you can't do that, blah, blah, blah. People have many different opinions on it.
There have been documented cases of water running vehicles for decades now. I saw a
Why isn't
water-
this stuff mainstream?
Yeah, I saw a water powered motorcycle at one point. And some guy in like India or something's got one. It's
Do a Google search on Stan Myers.
Stan Myers.
He's dead and gone.
Even this video here, July 14th, 2008. Come
Yeah.
on.
10 years.
What the hell are we doing?
Well, I'll give you a you don't even need to ask the question, as I know it's rhetorical, but you've got some very prominent business people and rich people that are dependent on the fossil fuel industry that are suppressing this. Just like, and go even a step further, who cares about water? They're suppressing free energy stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm getting fired up again.
Let me get into the stages of the URA. So there's going to be 3 stages here. So the first stage, it's going to start off simple, a 1-to-1. So you have €1 worth 1 URA. And then the URA is going to be invested in these projects, such as the one I just showed. So they're going to do that interest-free. So the URA is going to have a fixed value. Euro inflation will cause itself to lose value, and then it will take more than €1 for 1 URA. So the URA is going to start as a closed circuit exchange for products and services. So basically, the people that are investing in the URA would, to start this, just trade with themselves to buy and sell.
Yep. Keep it right. Keep it small, but you still have to have that core group that has the services and goods that everybody else wants, right? You have to have a good mix of services provided.
So the second stage, as euros to URA increases, so will investment programs. URA will gain value against the euro. And then at that point, the third stage, euro goes into hyperinflation. No one will want to exchange URAs back into euros. At that point, the URA can be made fully independent money creation based on hours of labor, not debt. You can kind of see how it could work. And it's a different way of thinking. But it's going to take that tidal wave of people, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, a leap of faith.
Yeah, you have to have enough people willing to take that risk, right? But there's a risk reward thing.
But half of this is because Ronald Bernard, he was in the banking systems, in the Illuminati, so he kind of saw how it works. So could he be onto something where he knows how it could transition and make this stuff work, or is he a double agent coming in?
But what I would think that on the double agent, the sleeper, if you will, in there'd be a reason why he'd want to take out somebody. This is he's creating a group of people to take out. It doesn't seem like it'd be worth his time to do it. It would make more sense if there was a third party doing this, and then he stepped in to help to sabotage him or whatever, or steer him down the wrong road. I choose to believe that he's on our side.
Yeah,
I choose to believe that.
I'm usually a pretty good judge of character, and by reading him, I feel like he's genuine.
Aliens?
So he talks about, I watched a few of his lectures, how the government wants to try to get rid of the paper money exchanges. They want it to be digital so they can control everything. He brought up this right here. France is restricted to less than 1,000 euros. So residents of France will not be allowed to make payments of more than 1,000 euros in cash.
Mm-hmm.
It limits the traceability of these payments and the ability to fight against financial of terrorism. Any payments in excess of 1,000 euros must be made using another form of payment, such as check or credit card. Transactions private are not included, so you can still do the person to person.
But not to the organization.
I mean, I don't think too many people go and buy, 1,000 to get out, cash like that, but they usually use check or whatever.
Okay, so this is just in general in France, not regarding this program that Ronald's talking about.
Yeah, so this is already starting to bring down the hammer.
I can't make a cash payment for a vehicle to a dealership or something.
No.
But if you're selling me it, I can.
Yeah.
Okay.
As of the way the laws are written.
And to help prevent the money laundering to finance terrorism. I see that. Okay.
And that was 2015. Man.
So
you just talk about time frames on this stuff like crazy.
Everything takes so long to do anything,
So he says, we got to get a new system going, get things working. So one of the things he brought up, his payment system, how's this going to work?
Mm-hmm.
Is basically going to be like on the blockchain, where like a cryptocurrency is. So basically like PayPal, 4th generation blockchain technology. And he says it can do 1 million transactions in a second. I got on screen kind of the way the app would look in this. If you've ever done cryptocurrency, this looks exactly like your wallets and stuff that you use. So I can see exactly how this would work. Very interesting. So he says local economies, this is where stuff gets kind of, because now there's like a fight in the local areas to everybody have their own currencies.
Yeah, and you can't really do that.
Well, you can, it's hard to get adaptability.
Yeah, the exchange rate, so to speak, right?
Well, everybody's got to use it.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
And what's the value of each? You
still have to go back to some unit of measure.
You got to have a base.
That's why I like where he said it's labor.
Yeah.
It's based on labor, because if you have whatever, you could call it whatever you want, but if it's still based on a unit of hour of labor,
yes,
it doesn't matter. But then at that point, why even bother having two different currencies? Just call it all the same thing.
He mentioned too, I don't know if this was the translation. There was a Makey in Amsterdam. I searched, I couldn't find it. It might have been the Dutch translation that didn't come through right, and then the beta. But I also looked on Wikipedia, and there was a bunch like California. All these places got Bay Bucks, Barter Bucks, all this other stuff, community cash.
Oh yeah. The town I was born in, Chippewa Falls, has chamber dollars, and these businesses sign up, and you can go down to the Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, here it is, Chamber Bucks.
Yeah, there it is. Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah,
so can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, okay, so you go down, there's probably different outlets that sell it, but when I got some, because I gave some as a Christmas present once, you go down and you go to the Chamber of Commerce and you say, I'd like $100 worth of Chamber Bucks. So they give you these vouchers, and then there's not all businesses, but certain businesses in the area, Chippewa Falls, Eau Claire area, where they accept Chamber Bucks. Now, I don't know where the money's being made, because it wasn't like I had to pay $105 for $100 Chamber Bucks. It was a straight swap.
So it was straight to straight.
Yeah, it was a straight swap. But I think that what they're kind of counting on you is like letting that sit in your drawer or in your purse or whatever and never using it, and now they got your cash. It's works exactly the same as cash. There's really no benefit.
And it was only in certain businesses.
Yeah, in certain businesses. There's maybe 60, 70 different businesses, restaurants, clothing stores, things like that you could use them for.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I've participated in that. There was no real benefit other than it was better than just giving somebody cash and a card for their birthday. Hey, here's Chamber Bucks. And
right, kind of like those gift cards.
You're somehow supporting the Chamber of Commerce.
It's like, gift cards where you have to spend that money at that store.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like it kind of guarantees.
And they're hoping that it ends up somewhere in the back dresser in the garbage or something, and then they got your money. And
So he says mortgages will be abolished. They'll be replaced by a lease contract with a rate of return for savings. So an example is if you have a mortgage for $230,000 in euros, 30 years, you just save up 100,000 euros.
Oh, okay. I see. Yep.
So I'm still kind of on the fence of like, okay, so people put their money in this bank, Be of Joy Bank.
Yep.
They want interest on that money, obviously. They only can lend out what they have, this bank.
Yep.
So how do you get a rate of return for those people that you get money? That's the biggest question. So in the I showed that car was one of the things, but another example he gave was like a garden. So you have a garden, you grow an abundance of produce, you're fine with it, you by yourself, but pretty soon you're giving it away. I had so many
zucchini
sticking out of my ears.
Yeah.
I was giving it away, and it was hard to give it away even.
Yeah, because everybody at that point gets it, because if they want it, they've got it.
So he says at that point, that's your rate of return, the extra that you're giving away. So
that you would then take and either consume or sell outside of your circle.
It would have to be sell.
Yeah, you'd have to somehow get rid of it outside of the circle, or to somebody else that really likes zucchinis, right, and is eating 10 a day.
So another example is solar energy. After 6 years after the panels are paid off, the next year's our rate of return. So it kind of makes me think about how this is going to work, because if you got a solar thing, somebody owns the solar, but how, I guess I can't really figure out, unless the bank owns those solar panels, I can't see how the rate of return goes to the bank, because the bank you ain't paying interest to the bank.
No, the bank is there to what? Just kind of corral your money
out and help the services that are.
Yeah, because if you put $1,000 in the bank, they can lend that $1,000 out now to somebody else, right?
And then there's no interest on that.
No,
So
the interest is on what you're spending the $1,000 loan on. I'm taking that $1,000, and that's where that interest comes, with the thought that then I take that whatever yield that is and then give it back to put it back in the bank, and now they have 4% more.
Oh, I see what
to
you're
loan
saying.
out, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
that when you sell something, that income goes back into the bank. Therefore, that's your interest. Gotcha.
Right.
You just clicked it for me.
Okay, good. I think that's how I'm understanding it. But
The excess.
Yeah.
The excess gets sold outside the group to refinance back in the bank, because if you borrow $1,000 and there's only $1,500 in the bank, in that account, and it's like, hey, I need $1,000. Well, we don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
So where's that other $500 going to come from?
Yep. The people have to be committed to leaving the money that they make in the bank so it can be loaned out. And if you have $1,000 loan to grow tomatoes, let's say, or make widgets, take $1,000 out. Now you can sell your widgets within the community, but the expectation is that there's going to be a certain portion of that gets sold outside of the community. And now you made $1,500 on that $1,000 investment. I'm going to put all that back in the bank. Maybe I'll take another $1,000 loan out, but now there's $500 more for somebody else to borrow. And
Interesting.
but what
Is it sustainable?
What happens if you can't pay it back, right? Bankruptcy and all that,
So
Yeah.
So to start this thing, this is the hard part. So to start, he says you basically need a capital of between 1.2 and 1.5 million. And then you got to have the software, the qualified staff, insurances, all that good stuff. Need a banking license. In order to get a banking license, you need 1.2 million euros. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Need to have a cooperative effort to work, as we were just saying. So now he says, so he kind of broke this down. So he said you need 10,000 member certificates. So these are people, 10,000 members to become co-owners for 100. So if you average, he says you can do 100 euros, but the average person buys in it usually about 220 euros.
That's not unreasonable. It's probably $250 American, right?
Yeah, the euro's worth more.
A little. I think it's still a little bit more, a touch more. So figure I'd get on board with that.
So do you do the math? 10,000 times 220, you get about a capital of between 2 and 2.2 million. And that could get them started. So the banking membership, but he'd also have a fee. You'd pay 24 euros a year. That would be set aside for He would set aside 20,000 euros a month for reoccurring expenses such as
Sure.
collaboration, employees, internet banking, license, insurance.
Yeah, lights and water and stuff like that. Yeah.
All that good stuff. As I looked on the video, I found a video he did in May 21st, 2018, and he had 6,500 people signed up. So he's got to start, but he still needs about double that yet. So yeah, his site is there. It's beofjoy.net.
Can anybody do this or do you have to be in a certain location, Dan?
You can, from what I understood, anybody could do it. But
That's interesting. For about approximately $250 investment, that's like a chance that I think some folks would be willing to take. You think of how quickly you've pissed away $250 in your life on stupid crap in the past, you know?
I know, right?
Why not support something like this? And if it works out, boy, you're in at ground floor.
The one thing that stood out to me in one of his lectures was if we had a banking system that was a normal economy, we'd really only have to work 20 hours a week. And when you really think of the scope like that, how much time does that give the person to finally decompress and get their lives together?
Think of that if you could just go work 2 10-hour days and have 5 days off.
That'd be insane.
That'd be awesome.
We'd have all kinds of money to go and explore.
Yeah, all the money and time, right? Yep.
Yes.
So yeah, if you go to beofjoy.net, all the information's there. The fees, he's got the breakdown of the fees, so financial returns, so your money is not spent on interest speculation, stock market, casino practices, or bonuses. You co-decide, so instead of them deciding how your money's going to go, you have a vote. It's one person gets one vote how you're going to invest this savings.
No onions.
As a bank, they only spend what they have in cash, which is the most important part, so you don't get the inflation. Ecological, the current system's based on fewer people actually owning stuff.
Well, at least a fewer people owning more of the stuff that's out there. It's that 1%, right? Or 10% of the richest people in the world own 85% of its wealth or something crazy like that I came across the other day. It's insane.
Some crazy number.
And also the emotional return, which gets people feeling good about their money is actually supporting actual stuff to help the environment, the people, the
community, yeah, social and ecological stuff. That's great. I can get on board with that.
So yeah, that's basically we'll
see.
Exactly, we'll see. That's pretty much the whole breakdown there. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Interesting. It's got a lot of echoes or reverberations of the was it Tellinger, right?
Tellinger, yeah.
Yeah, his idea. I see a lot of similarities in there. And my recommendation is that Tellinger and this guy get hooked up together and come up with a hybrid that would work for everybody. Because if Tellinger's got a bunch of people on board and he's got a bunch of people on board, there might be some common ground and stuff they could move forward together with.
He was supposed to have that one small town.
Yeah, I forget.
They were supposed to get that going in the U.S. Let me search that up real quick.
Yeah, I forget what that was called for the life of me.
Because one time I looked it up again, and then there was nothing going on with it, or the website was under construction. One small
Come again.
town.
A junior Western bacon cheese.
onesmalltown.org. So this is like, I had him on the show probably, what was it, 2 years ago? Yes.
Yeah, it's been a while. Okay, so it's...
The website is going through a long overdue update. Please come back. So it's like, he said they were going to have something going that one year I talked to him, and there's nothing going on with it yet. So it's...
Interesting.
Click on some of the things up above on the top there, Dan. The manifesto or the news.
I think this is the same stuff that we've checked on before.
Okay, I just was wondering if there's anything maybe new in there.
Preamble. Yeah, this is the thing I had on.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, that looks familiar.
News. Let's check the news real quick.
Tellinger didn't like it because I wasn't buying into it, and he kind of called me out.
I should have had you on the show with me, but he was the actual first guest.
Yeah, and he was a big one too.
That was big, yeah.
Yeah, that was exciting for you. Yeah, I don't know. He would have called me out, and I probably would have exposed the fact that he's much more versed on his project than I am. So,
boy, did you have something to say before we close out?
Yeah, here, gentlemen. I'll give each of you $1 million so that you can invest all that you like.
Whoa,
Merry Christmas.
That's
Merry
$1 million
Christmas.
bar. Now, I heard that one of these bars actually contain $1 million, right?
Good luck, gentlemen. Good luck.
Well, thanks, $1 million bar. That's awesome. I'm guessing what will happen with this when it gets home, and I won't get much of it, but that's
really?
Okay.
Yeah.
I never mentioned, if you folks want to call in, we got the voicemail. Raphael left a message, topic, whatever, it's all good.
Yeah, that was a good topic, Raphael. Thank you.
Thank
I'd
you
love
very
to hear
much.
some more of your ideas and thoughts on that. And if we got something wrong, give us a call back, correct us.
So for those listening on the audio podcasts, I got it on screen here. It's 1-256-510-5234. That's 1-256-510-K2D4. It'll be the network. It'll say, welcome to the K2D4 network offices. Like, we're all legit and stuff, you know? I love that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But just leave your message. We'll get it there. We'll put it up here. And yeah, that was... And then also the merch. Don't be afraid to support merch. I'm going to run that special for 2 more weeks. It's Holiday 18. Enter the code Holiday18 at checkout. You'll get 10% off. The merch store, we got coffee mugs. Talk is cheap coffee mug. Gotta love it. We got K2D4 network.
And?
Wild women.
I don't know. Women are kind of expensive, so they're not on the site. But
The wild women.
ripping and the tearing.
The ripping and the tearing. The ripping and the tearing.
And then yeah, shirts, posters. We got one back here. There's a beach towel behind Pete. We showed that on the show earlier. Good stuff. And it supports the broadcast. Yeah, folks, it does cost a little bit more on those products, but you think of it, you're supporting the show. And if you're not interested in having something, you can, like, tangible in your hands, you can support us through Patreon donation or a one-time donation on PayPal. That's all appreciated, and we need it all to fund our operation and get things going here. So with that being said, I am going to close out the show. Gentlemen, I appreciate you guys joining me today.
Yeah, it was interesting. Good
Thank
topic.
you, Dan.
Love the ears, by the way.
Probably be the only time that you'll ever see me dressed up like this.
Yeah,
so
well, now
there it
it's
is.
on
Once-
the internet now.
That's it. That's
We got it.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yep.
Be safe out there.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
You filthy animal. Yeah.